Can you guys please give a huge round of applause for my friend David Pfeiffer coming to the stage?
So I got two cats. First cat is named Nia. I named her after Nia Long. Because much like Nia Long, she's black, beautiful, and the best pussy I ever had. Another similarity she's got with Nia Long is that when I'm sitting on the couch, she likes to crawl up in my lap and rip just like the rankest farts. I mean, just the most awful thing you've ever smelled in your life. I was like, did Tate Diggs crawl up your ass and die? No, it's definitely Morris Chestnut. You can tell with the fruity undertones. My second cat is named Jeffrey Beauregard III. We call him Beau for short. Now, Beau is my problem cat, all right? When he's not busy locking up nonviolent drug offenders, he's always getting into wacky, zany adventures, you know? Like the other night, I got woke up by, it's about 3 in the morning by my fiance telling me, hey, David, I went to go take a piss just earlier, and Beau normally comes and sits at my feet when I do that, and he wasn't there this time. Because apparently my cat's got a thing for piss and feet. You know, what can I say? He's presidential material. So anyways, we're tearing up the apartment looking for him. It's a 1-bedroom in the Heights. There's not that many places you can look. We go out on the balcony, notice the planter box in there, look down, figure out this cat has gotten so fat that he sat in the planter box, broke the zip ties, fell down into the yard of the neighbor below us, and he's looking scared shitless because there's a dog barking at him behind the patio door, so I got to go down there, hop the fence, grab him. He's too fat to fit through the gate, so I had to fire him. It was a whole thing. Long story short is, I turned to my fiance and said, I'm so glad your spidey senses, maternal instincts kicked in, because I would never have noticed that he was gone. But now she thinks I'm going to be one of these like inattentive fathers that doesn't know when their kids go missing. Like she said, well, what would happen if I had to go away for a couple of days? Well, I'm like, well, based on what happened here tonight, you probably shouldn't do that. All right? Be a couple days into it, I'd be like, I swear I had a kid around here. Well, I guess I'm going to Walmart to get a new one. Fuck it. So guys, my name is David Pfeiffer. Let you know a little something about myself. I am engaged to be wed this September. Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm engaged to marry a beautiful black woman. And I'm excited to be getting married. My parents are excited to see me get married. It's just, it's my grandpa. Yeah, I don't know if I'd call him racist, but he used to say things to me as a kid. Like I'm sure everybody's grandpa did, He said, David, it's just like they say. Once you go black, you're dead to me. And sure enough, he was. Now, not even lying here, like 3 months into us dating, he drops dead of a heart attack, and nobody even told him we were dating. So I don't know if he just felt like a disturbance in the force, or what. Maybe he was sitting there watching Fox, just going, someone call a doctor! My grandson's got jungle fever! At least that's how I imagine it. But there's a lot of challenges associated with being a white man with a black woman. Sometimes there are vast cultural divides, maybe a socioeconomic gap. But probably the most difficult obstacle to overcome is that as the guy, deep down in your heart, you know that yours is not the biggest she's ever seen, right? And it just takes a little piece of you having to admit that to yourself, right? I just wish you'd humor me every once in a while, like the other night, I said, baby, it's pretty big, right? She's like, depends on how you look at it. I said, that is some cold shit. You can't just lie to me like you love me. She said, baby, love is blind, but it can still feel around in the dark. That's some shit. But hey, when I found you, I stopped feeling around. I'm like, that's very sweet of you, baby. I appreciate that. Because it doesn't matter what color you are. At the end of the day, it's difficult for any man to establish credibility as a father to his children. Any dads in the house tonight? A couple real reluctant men here. So imagine in a couple of years I'm going to have me a little mixed kid looking up at me being like, Daddy, you don't know the struggle. Listen here, you little high yellow bastard. You don't know my struggle. Do you know what it's like being the only white man expected to dance at a black wedding? Shit is terrifying, y'all. Look, I'm a white man, right? God gave me the world, but he took away my rhythm, okay? I mean, watching me dance is like watching Stephen Hawking try to shell a peanut, all right? It's like watching Michael J. Fox try to open a pickle jar, all right? I got people in the reception yelling, somebody help that cracker! It's awful, man. It's awful. You know, and at some point they're going to get to an age, you know, where they're going to need to learn their history, right? You know, I'm going to have to sit them down and let them watch Roots, you know? And I'd like y'all to consider for a moment that if my kids are watching Roots, that might, maybe, put me in a little bit of hot water, okay? Because, you know, the kids are going to be smart, right? They're going to be able to put 2 and 2 together. You know, they're going to sit there watching going, you know, Daddy, these people look an awful lot like you. Come to think of it, they sound an awful lot like you, too. Where was you when all this was going on? What was you doing? Like, hey, hold up. First off, I am not that old, okay? The 70s was a long time ago, all right? But no, on my luck, they'd probably produce a picture that would just be so incriminating. What can I say, right? Well, Daddy, what about this picture of you dressed like a Confederate soldier? I'm like, it was a reenactment. What were you reenacting for? Look, it was a thing my family did a long time ago. You know what? I'm not on trial here, okay? I pay the rent. I pay for the shea butter that goes on those ashy elbows, knees, and ankles. Thank you very much. All right? Look, you belong to me. Oh, that didn't come out right. Oh, Jesus. What I'm saying is that you're mine. Oh, hell. I mean, legally, Jesus. Okay, how about this? How about I give you a little bit of candy, let you stay up late. We call it reparations. Even, Steven? Yeah? Okay. All right. Cool. You got to seal the deal when they're young, guys. You seem like a hip crowd. Let's see if we can go on this one. So my fiance, I'm super proud of her. She just got a really nice job working in the med center, working at Texas Children's. Yeah, thank you very much. And she does ultrasound for, you know, a lot of pregnant women. And the thing that I didn't realize until she got this job is that her job entails a lot of looking at dead babies. Because apparently it's rather common for them to, you know, it's called fetal demise, where they die in utero. And it's really sad, it's very tragic. Probably the saddest thing about it, though, is that after a long day of work, when she gets home, I don't know why, but she's not in the mood for sex. And I tried to explain it to her. I said, Adriana, if we don't at least try to make a dead baby tonight, eventually you're going to be out of a job, all right? It's just economics, y'all. Too much? Too far? Okay. All right. Well, hey, that's why we live in a democracy, y'all. The people have spoken. No more dead baby jokes. Okay. Well, now that we've got our ground rules, we've drawn a clear boundary, we can enjoy the rest of the show. No, but we're trying to figure out how we want this this wedding ceremony to go. You know, do we want it to be religious? Do we want it to be secular? All that good stuff. Because it's weird for me, because I was raised Catholic, which is to say that I've never read the Bible and I don't go to church. Some of y'all may know what I'm talking about. Yeah. CEO, baby, you know, Christmas, Easter only. No. So we started going to this, like a Bible study group. And our thought was initially that if we go to this Bible study group, we can trick them into officiating for free. Because weddings are expensive, y'all. And the conversation got a little weird because we started talking about, you know, what you should do, what you shouldn't do, heaven, hell, all that type of stuff. And I turned to the guy and I said, you really think there's such a place as hell where you go to suffer for all eternity? He's like, absolutely. You fuck up here, you're going to burn. Like, I don't know, man. You know, my mom always told me that, you know, if no sinner could ever get into heaven, it'd be a pretty empty fucking place, right? You know, so I think at the end of the day, I think everybody does get into heaven when they die. I think you just have to get through like an exit interview first. You know, like you got to watch the play-by-play after the fact. Kind of like you're a football player, you know, after a game. They'll probably call you in, sit you down, be like, hey, good to meet you, have a seat, let's take a look at the film. Oh, hey, you started off as a painter, that's pretty cool. I love that you're skiing, that looks like fun. Whoa. Yeah, I think that's where you went wrong, right here where you killed 6 million Jews. Yeah, that's, Yeah, really whiffed it on that play. Yeah, cost the whole team a lot of yards. He really did. You know what? Classic rookie mistake, all right? Sometimes you zig when you should have zagged, all right? Sometimes you pizza when you should have French fried. And look, French fried Jews might be a delicacy in Iran. That's not how we play ball up here. But hey, you know, keep working. We're going to have to redshirt you this season, but who knows? Maybe we'll put you on kickoff return. Thanks so much. Next. All right, go ahead and have a seat. Let's take a look. Whew. It's a lot of gay stuff. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying it's a lot of gay stuff. Damn, Jeffrey, did you have to eat them? It's a smart crowd. Don't worry, he'll get to hang out with the water boy, Mr. R. Kelly. Hey, when I said everybody gets into heaven, everybody gets into heaven. Now, you know, death has been on my mind a lot lately, you know, which makes sense because I sell life insurance. You know, the thing about life insurance is that it's a pretty simple concept, right? You pay a little bit of money now so that your family has some more when you're gone, right? Pretty simple. You'd be amazed at how many people take issue with that. Probably one of the most common objections I get is actually from men. They say, you know, why am I going to pay all this money so that she can have all this money to spend on some other guy when I'm gone? And I said, like, well, dude, you're not going to have any control over that, right? You're going to be dead and gone. What are you going to do about it? What, are you going to try to haunt her? What? You're going to pull out like a Ouija board? Just be like, stop sucking dick. Carl? Cock blocking from beyond the grave. I don't know. You know, because at the end of the day, you know, she can either suck dick on her own terms, or she can do so out of necessity, you know? And me, I'd rather have her do it on her own terms, right? I don't want a revolving door of men coming in and out of my kid's life, asking all these questions. Mom, who was that? That's Mr. Rent. Who's that other guy? That's Mr. Light Bill. Who's that last guy? That's Mr. Who do you think pays for all these Lunchables around here, Timmy? Money doesn't grow on trees. It's not how it works. You know, but it didn't always used to be chuckles for David. Actually used to be a mixed martial arts fighter, if you didn't know. Yeah, I used to tear it up in the ring. I actually remember my first fight like it was yesterday. Actually, I don't because I got knocked out in the first round. Yeah, that was something, man. It was weird. I was coming in with a straight right, and he came in with the overhand right, just pew. I mean, out like a light. And it was so weird. I didn't realize where I was at or come to till I was already in the locker room. They were taking my hand wraps off. And I looked at my coach and said, "What the fuck are you doing, man? I got to fight. Put that shit back on." I said, "No, man, you got knocked the fuck out." I'm like, "What are you talking about? I feel great. I'm well rested. Let's do this." I said, "Nah, man." It took about 4 or 5 times before it finally sunk in. But probably the worst thing about it was they put it up on YouTube. Man, if there's one thing you don't ever want to read, it's the comments on your own knockout video. When I say these motherfuckers were ruthless and savage, I mean that shit. Right out the gate, first comment, looks like a NyQuil commercial. Some other asshole photoshopped my face on top of Dorothy from Wizard of Oz and when she falls asleep in the field. Yeah. They took a lot of time on that. But probably the most hurtful comment was just 3 simple words. Cosby strikes again. Yeah. Yeah, my family had to see that. How do you think I felt? Jesus, man. Something else. But I am actually very, very happy to announce that as of June 23rd this year, I am officially a full-time comedian. Yes, thank you, thank you. Which is to say I'm unemployed, because that's the euphemism that we use in this business. It's been interesting being a house husband these past several weeks. You know, I've taken to it pretty well. Well, we had a weird conversation, my fiance and I. You know, I said, you know, baby, isn't it kind of weird that right now your name is Adriana Keys, but in a couple months you're going to be Adriana Pfeiffer. She said, well, I don't know. If I'm paying all the bills around here, maybe we need to renegotiate this. I said, hey, I am all ears, because if all I got to do is cook, clean, and put out, shit, call me Mr. Keys. That's a racket I'd like to get in on, for sure, for sure. But obviously it's tough in this day and age to be a single income household, so I got to do something to bring in some money. She suggested that I try being a cam whore. For those of you who don't know, that means doing sexual acts on a web camera for money. And at first when she said that, I was just so flattered. I mean, I was like, really? You think I could? Ah, shucks. You know? But obviously, like with any relationship, you gotta have clear boundaries, right? So I said, you know, what am I doing here? Am I just jerking off? Am I putting stuff up my butt? Like, how? Where's the line here? She said, look, I don't care what you do as long as you get paid for it. So, just want to let y'all know, ladies and gentlemen, one grapefruit up my butt later, I'm $15 richer. Yeah. Hey, that's the new economy, y'all. It's the new gig economy. That's where we live in. Reminds me of what my mother used to say. There's all work has dignity, David. There is dignity in all work. Which I always thought was a funny expression, because if that's the case, why have you been shipping so much dignity over to India and China these past few years, you know? Right? Probably next decade, we're going to have a lot of really dignified robots, don't you think? West Virginia coal miners, they don't have black lung, they're just coughing up dignity. Yeah, I remember my first job out of college. Actually, I really enjoyed that job. I worked for Habitat for Humanity in San Antonio. For those of you guys who don't know, Habitat for Humanity, it's a nonprofit organization that builds houses for low-income families. So thank you very much. Thanks, great organization. So being in San Antonio, that basically meant my job was to build very small houses for very large Mexican families. We didn't just have Mexican families, though. We had families from all over the world, mainly refugees from places like Burma, Indonesia, the Congo. Actually, that was the first guy I ever built a house for. He was from the Congo. His name was Shimmy. I think he had about 5 or 7 kids. I think he traded a couple for a lawnmower. It's a cultural thing. I don't know. But the thing about... I am. But the thing about Shimmy was that he was always real skeptical of me. You know, he was real skeptical of me. Because I don't know if he thought I was discriminating against him because he was black. He wasn't sure if I was going to build his house right. So he was always following me around, asking me 1,000 questions. Finally, I had to stop and said, Shimmy, look, I can't imagine what you've been through, you know, coming from a country that's only known civil war and what you had to do to get here to take care of your family. Like, you know, I just want you to know that I'm not a hateful person. I don't hold that in my heart. I promise I'm going to build you the same shitty house that I would build anyone, all right? White, black, brown, doesn't matter. Okay, there's not going to be a straight wall in that motherfucker. All right, the foundation's probably built on top of an Indian burial ground. Okay, and these cabinets, yeah, these are held up by the unanswered prayers of Holocaust victims. I just want you to know how much we care here at Habitat. Now, after that, I took a little trip to Los Angeles to do some background acting. Anybody here watch Parks and Rec? Anybody? Woo! Yeah. So I did not appear on camera, but my girlfriend's 1999 Suzuki Esteem did. Yeah, right there in the foreground. What was interesting about that experience was the first time I ever encountered a real life celebrity. I was walking to my mark, and I remember walking right by Aziz Ansari. And if you've never seen him in real life, he is small as fuck. He is little bitty. And it was so weird to me because I realized in that moment, like, wow, he's so close. I could just reach out and just strangle him, just murder him in front of God and everybody and be famous like that, right? No more having to whore around for a SAG voucher. No, man, overnight, straight to the top. They give me all 3 names too, like Philip Seymour Hoffman or Lee Harvey Oswald to be David Lawrence Pfeiffer, y'all. Wouldn't have to be here at the goddamn joke joint. Write a book about, yeah, I did it. It's going to be great. But you know what? I missed the opportunity because in between takes, I was furiously texting this lady I was supposed to help move their apartment, going like, look, the filming is just taking a little bit too long. We're almost done. Please don't cancel. I need that $50. Because that's how you get along in LA. After that, though, took a little turn here in Houston, started selling insurance for a living. Woo! Man, that was a dark time for me. For those who don't know, selling insurance is a little rough because you have to deal with the general public, all right? And the general public, as I'm sure you're well aware, ain't shit, right? Present company excluded, of course. And the thing about it is that, like most normal human beings, when they're buying insurance, they go online, they call a 1-800 number, they get it done, no fuss. So all the normal people are filtered through that process. What's left at the local sales office level is all the fucking crazy people, right? The people whose lives are in constant disarray, who want to argue and fight with you over every nickel and dime. Those are the people I dealt with. And I got to a point where I really felt like I would rather be turning tricks than selling insurance right now, right? Because think about it, if I'm turning tricks, I can set my own rates, all right? It's 100% commission, and my clients actually appreciate what I do for them, you know? Real nice change of pace. And it's a very competitive industry, guys. You know, there's tons of companies out there looking for your business. So you got to find ways to differentiate yourself in the marketplace. You know, so for example, one thing we used to bring up to try to win over business, I'd say, hey, look, you don't want to go with Texas Farm Bureau, okay? Because on their home insurance policies, when it comes to liability, they don't cover child molestation, all right? And a lot of times they say, well, David, I'm not planning on molesting anybody. I said, nobody plans to, all right? You've seen American Beauty, all right? You know how it is. You got your teenage daughter, brings over her friend, she's taking a shower. You go in there to get a roll of toilet paper, you're bumping, next thing you know, you're in front of a judge arguing about how old is 15 really. All right? Nobody wants to be there. Well, then of course there'd be follow-up questions. Well, David, why doesn't Texas Farm Bureau cover that? Well, it's very simple, okay? What happens on the farm ends up on Law and Order SVU, okay? It's a very simple equation, works every time. Well, why does Liberty Mutual decide to cover it? Well, it's very simple, okay? Liberty Mutual is headquartered in Boston, okay? You've all seen Mystic River, okay? It's very simple. Next time a young Tim Robbins gets kidnapped and raped, I can promise you Liberty Mutual will be there. Some people watch movies. Woo! You guys are a fantastic crowd. I'm really enjoying myself. You guys having a good time? Excellent. You know, normally in this situation, I wouldn't just be drinking water. I'd be having myself a nice cold Moscow Mule in honor of our president. You know, and the thing is, I'm not going to sit here and bash Trump. We've all heard enough about stuff going on. I just think, you know, and I'm not naive enough to think that he's the only president to ever do fucked up stuff, right? Like imagine, I'm pretty sure Teddy Roosevelt drank Russian hooker piss by the gallon, right? You know, I mean, he was a bear of a man. I think you can watch it on a Ken Burns documentary. But I imagine he'd probably be pretty circumspect about the whole deal, right? But now we know via BuzzFeed that somewhere out there's a tape of Donald Trump going, all right, Ivanka, let her rip. And somebody's in the back going, wow, look at that stream. Like a Clydesdale. That's right, goddammit. While we're on the subject, by show of hands, who here's all had piss in their mouth? Anybody? No? No takers? Okay, well, hey, come with me, guys. Come with me, and you'll see a land of pure, unwanted urination. Let me try to set this up for you guys for a little bit. So, you know, back in college, like a lot of young men, I had a terrible dry spell, right? Horrible ordeal. I don't wish it on my worst enemy. And I was getting rather desperate, needed to find some way to get some rainfall in my life. Luckily, it happened on a young woman who, her face could have used a little bit of work, but her titties were big and her spirit was willing, so I said, fuck it, let's ride. So we get her back to the dorm room, legs propped up, we're motorboating, having a good time, everything's cool, when all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the thought occurs, wow, wait a minute, that tastes weird. And it was like time kind of slowed to a crawl, right? And I could almost like see the taste bud in my mouth going, wow, I don't know what the fuck to do here. I got to go tell the brain. So he's running up the stairs, and he gets to what I imagine is like the boardroom of my brain with all the C-level executives. And it's like fucking DEFCON 5 up there. They don't know what the hell's going on, right? They don't know what to do. But luckily, there's a little intern brain cell in the back of the room, right? Now this little intern brain cell, he's not from the brain, okay? He's actually from a little farm down in the bladder. Okay? And look, his grades weren't that hot, but he had a lot of extracurriculars, and he wrote a hell of an essay, and he managed to score this internship, and now he knows this is his time to shine. So from the very back of the room, he yells out, hey, I know what that is. It's piss, and you gotta spit it out. The CEO comes over, grabs him by the lapels. Are you sure, man? Are you sure? He's like, yes. So needless to say, I spit it out, right? And you know, she was understandably mortified, as well she should be. I just got R. Kelly'd, y'all. All right, I didn't get any backstage passes, no autographs, just bam, shot in the mouth. So she tried to hightail it out of there, and I said, I did not just endure that indignity to not finish the job and get my dick wet. Fuck that. So I summoned all the diplomatic power in me, be like, no, hey, wait, it's okay, it's cool, it's chill. We can get through this. We can make this work. It's okay that you pissed in my mouth. Just stay. And she stayed, but she was like, can I just ask you to do like one little thing? I'm like, what? Can you brush your teeth? I'm like, hell no. This is your bed, now you gotta sleep in it. Because that's how we roll, y'all. Anybody seen any movies lately? We'll go ahead and finish up with this one. So like I said, I used to sell insurance for a living. Cold calling was probably the worst though. They don't know you, they don't like you, they don't trust you, but you got to find a way to build rapport rather quickly. So one of the ways I would do this, I had this little phrase to kind of break the ice and say, hey, look, real quick, just want to shoot you a quick comparison quote. If it looks good, great. If not, we won't worry about it. What I found is you can use this same technique in your dating life. For example, let's say I walk into a bar and I meet a beautiful young woman like, ma'am, what's your name? Nina. Nina? That's a beautiful name, Nina. It's a pleasure to meet you. My name's David. Hey, Nina, look real quick. I got this dick, right? Just want to shoot it to you real quick. If it looks good, great. If not, we won't worry about it. How's that sound? Okay, so she's a little iffy, all right? We got to, ask a few more questions, make sure we can, make sure we got a good fit here. So, Nina, who is your current dick provider? Hey, sir, how you doing? Now, Nina, you got to be careful here because, people can make all kinds of wild claims. He's probably told you he got 10 inches. He's probably got a 12-inch deductible, okay? All right, that's called going backwards, all right? Nina, you look like the kind of young woman trying to go forwards in life, am I right? Exactly, because if it don't make dollars, y'all, it don't make sense, okay? Now, Nina, how can I make you understand how important this is? I want you to imagine, hypothetically, you're on your way home tonight and, God forbid, you get into an accident, somebody wrecks your pussy. I mean, it just wrecked his shit, y'all. I mean, they're pulling people out of there. It's a nightmare. I mean, they got to get the jaws of life to open up your jaws of life. That's what I'm trying to say here. Now, look, in this situation, you're going to need a new one, right? Okay. But look, this could go a couple different ways. Now, Nina, what year were you born? 88. Okay, so that's a good year. Now, Nina is used to driving a 1988 Nina pussy, okay? And it's in great condition, y'all. Right? No dents, no scratches. She changes the fluids, okay? Got all your favorite features, the heated vibrating seats, all leather interior. Hell, she's probably got XM radio in there. But here's the thing, Nina. They're not going to give you enough for a brand new 1988. After depreciation, you're only going to get maybe like a 1937. Now look, I don't know how many 1937s y'all have seen, let alone had to drive. I'm going to tell you right now, Nina, from experience, shit ain't pretty. And look, I understand you put a lot of work into it, right? I mean, you wash it, you wax it, you fill it up twice a week, I bet you couldn't even get to work without it, That's why I understand how important it is to you. So I want to make a promise to you that at Liberty Mutual, we're going to insure you the full replacement value to get you back in a brand new 1988 like it never even happened. And with our Better Pussy Replacement Program, we're going to put you in one model year newer with 15,000 less miles. Now, Nina, I'm not a magician, but if I can take 15,000 miles off of it, shit, I think I deserve a peek, don't you? Everybody get up for Nina for being a great sport. Guys, my name is David Pfeiffer. You've been a fantastic crowd. Thank you so much. Please enjoy your headliner. Good night.
Keep it going for David Pfeiffer. Come on, let me hear you.